I hope you all had a chance to enjoy an incredible dinner with wonderful people at your tables. I'm thrilled to be here with you tonight and to witness this special moment in Walker's history. In the short time I've been at Walker's, I've had the pleasure of working alongside a group of incredibly dedicated individuals who serve our school in various capacities and who work tirelessly to be sure that all of us have what is necessary to lead fulfilling lives here, academically, socially, physically, and spiritually. As a member of the Walker's family, one of the people who works tirelessly in this endeavor is the chair of our Board of Trustees, Kit O'Brien Roan. Kit is a 1982 graduate of Walker's. She went on to receive her BA from Dartmouth College, where she double majored in visual arts and environmental studies. Kit has worked for the Audubon Society, Conservation International, where she was a founding member, and for Inform, an environmental research organization. Kit is an avid volunteer both at Walker's and in her community, where she does ornithological field work as a bird bander for the Connecticut Audubon. I'm always proud of myself when I say all of that at one time. She has also served as president of the Darien Audubon Society. Kit has worked at many various schools in many capacities, including serving from 1983 to 1984 at Walker's as a class representative and as a member of Walker's Alumni Board from 1994 to 1995. Her sister Caroline is a 1984 graduate, and her mother, Catherine S. O'Brien, is a former Walker's trustee who served on the National Campaign Council during our One Vision, Many Voices campaign. It is my honor to join you in welcoming Kit Roan.
Thank you, Amy. Welcome, students, parents, faculty and staff, alumni, fellow board members, former trustees, and special guests. Thank you all for joining us here tonight. And once again, we are gathered at another spectacular event that required an enormous amount of planning and hard work by so many people. And I too have a couple of shout outs because I feel like these people can never be thanked enough. At the beginning of that list is Madeline Caldwell as well, our events manager, Michelle Hellman, Director of External Affairs, Marion Patterson, in her capacity as Director of Development, Tyler Varsel, in her capacity as our Web Presence Manager, members of the engineering staff, our ground staff, employees in the environmental services who make this campus beautiful every single day. And not last but not least, Michelle Addis, our Director of Dining Services, Scott Iwaniki, correct? Our head chef, who has outdone himself again with this fabulous meal. Thank you. I am honored to be with you tonight to celebrate this extraordinary moment in Walker's history. Walker's is at the brink, is at the brink of of completing a $50 million campaign, a campaign that many thought was too ambitious, but others knew better, a campaign that has had extraordinary impact on revitalizing and energizing our campus and the entire community. It included the renovation of our barn, the state-of-the-art indoor ring, Debbie's house that brought the heads home to the center of campus, our athletic turf fields, pavilion, a beautiful new dorm, and most recently, our capstone project, this phenomenal Centennial Center. It was possible due to the efforts of so many. So congratulations to every single one of you, and I truly mean every single one of you. Because of these projects, Walker's campus today is a place of great pride and excitement. Our students, faculty, are working and playing in spaces that enhance their experience here, and the impact is a happier, healthier, energized community. And while I salute the over 2,500 people who contributed to this campaign, I want to acknowledge one person who was the architect and visionary leader behind these projects. We all know who she is, Bessie Spears. And Tom Schneider. Bessie, will you please stand and just be recognized one more time? Thank you. Nope. Okay. Without Bessie's ambition, determination, and many sleepless nights, we would not be in this spectacular space today. Bessie, you dared to dream big because you knew what Walkers needed to remain competitive and to attract the most capable and talented students. Just look around. They're here with us tonight. And at her side was Tom, her husband Tom, who together, you two worked tirelessly to raise more money than any previous head at our school has ever raised before. Thank you. Thank you, Tom and Bessie, for dreaming big and never giving up. Mira has begun to outline her vision for Walkers by honoring our history and building on the successful past of our incredible school. Like all Walkers leaders before her, Mira's vision is thoughtful, inspiring, and bold. Many of us got a sample of her wonderfulness and uniqueness at her investiture ceremony here just a few weeks ago. And I encourage all of you who were not able to join us to watch it on our website. And I hope you feel the energy that was in that room that day and experience the profound effect that it had on so many of us. That same forward, upward movement and spirit felt that day continues here tonight. It is because of the foundation built by Bessie and our former heads of school that Mira is in this extraordinary place to take Walkers to greater heights. And we know she has Eric at her side. My fellow board members and I have full confidence that Mira is more than up for the task and will do so in great Walker style with grace, conviction, dedication, and great love. While we celebrate the closing of this capital campaign, I want to leave you with a really important message. None of what we are celebrating tonight could happen without greater financial support from others. Let's remember and never forget that a $5 million donor who challenged our parents to achieve 100% participation in our annual fund gave us this opportunity. Once again, many said it could not be done, but the parents did, and they rose to the occasion and made it happen. 100% of our parents made a gift to our school that year that unlocked that transformative gift. The gifts came in all shapes and sizes, but it was a collective effort. It is always a collective effort. So never forget, your support for Walkers was the difference back then, and it is the difference today. Bessie might have been the visionary leader for this great campaign, but she could not have done it without the extraordinary help of her outstanding campaign chair, Sarah Gates Colley. Sarah and her committee helped Bessie, Mira, and all of us become that much closer to finishing the line, crossing the line. No one understands the importance of giving more than Sarah, who has served as a trustee for multiple terms, working tirelessly to raise money for her alma mater. I am profoundly grateful for Sarah's leadership in championing this enormous fundraising feat. Please join me in welcoming Sarah Colley. Sarah, the board and the school has a little gift for you just to honor you and thank you for your incredible work and hard service 5 years on this campaign as chair. Oh my gosh, this one is yours. And
Thank you.
I apologize, I don't have the inscription in front of me, but it is a Simon Pierce vase with our logo and Sarah's name, the dates of her service, and thanking her for her dedication and leadership. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. I'll put this down here. Well, thank you very much. It was a surprise, and as always, a pleasure to serve this school. And I, again, thank everybody who is here and those that aren't for their commitment to walkers. But who would have thought over 100 years ago that we would have gathered in our incredible Centennial Center and to celebrate a $50 million campaign? The vision and commitment of Ethel Walker herself and all those who came before us has come alive today and will be carried forward as we honor our legacy, our leadership, our alumni, our students and their families, and faculty and staff, and the generations of sons and dials ahead. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, I would like to thank the entire Ethel Walker School community for your support in this campaign. So much has been accomplished. Debbie's house, the dorms, turf fields, athletic pavilions, the renovation of the barn, and now to be here in our new Centennial Center, our capstone project, is a testimony of the strength and potential of the Ethel Walker School. All this is a declaration of the vision and determination of Bessie Spears. Bessie's commitment and leadership led Walkers into the second century of educating women. And again, Bessie, thank you for all that you have done for our school. Gotta thank you. It's wonderful to have you and your family here tonight. I truly believe success breeds success. We have continued to build Walkers to be the best of the best, filled with institutional pride, courage, conviction, confidence, and integrity. With Mira's inspired leadership and vision, coupled with the success of our Centennial campaign, we are starting our next and best chapter at the Ethel Walker School. Thank you, Mira. So how did this happen? To quote Henry Ford, coming together is the beginning, keeping together is progress, and working together is success. As a community, we came together, stayed together, and worked together. I would like to thank our Board of Trustees, our campaign committee, the Development Office, our donors, and our parents who reached 100% participation that triggered the $5 million gift to the campaign. The importance of continuing 100% participation each year sends a message to all of our donors, to our prospective families, and to your daughters that you believe in this school, our school. Thank you very much to all the parents then and now and in the future. I appreciate it so much. To date, we have raised $49 million, an investment in the education of our girls. That is a cause for celebration indeed, I will tell you. Thank you again for everybody's work. To be on the brink of a $50 million goal is and will continue to be a transformational accomplishment in the history of our school. But we have even more exciting news. Walker's has a $1 million challenge for all gifts that help close this Centennial campaign. Your continued support is invaluable. And by Henry Ford's definition, this is true success. So I thank you all for joining us in this celebration, for your support, and for being such an important part of Walker's as an outstanding community and school. Onward we go. Thank you again.
Good evening. I am Laurel Gaddis, a class member of the class of 2018. The Centennial campaign brought many barn renovations that have enhanced our riding program and given us new and exciting opportunities. These physical changes have provided the Walker's equestrian team with an even stronger presence in the equestrian community in both horse shows and horse care. The updated footing and heated wash stalls help us take great care of our horses, which leads to a higher level of performance by both horse and rider. I am very excited to be able to show off our facilities when we host horse shows and when we have visitors come to our campus. I get a rush of energy every time I cross this Bushy Hill Road and am able to go to a place that supports me to be the best equestrian I can be.
Hi, I'm Emily Cazares and a member of the class of 2017. As someone that has been lucky enough to live in the new dorm for the past 4 years, I have seen the newest feature in the Walker's residential community change from a clean, crisp shell into a warm place that I have grown to call my home away from home. We spend time baking in the common room, playing with Mr. Fuller's dog Milo, and gathering around the fireplace. These activities in the new dorm have exemplified just how the Walker's community can make a dorm into a home. For every parent who sends their daughter to live here at Walker's, this sense of home is all you can ask for. And the new dorm has brought that feeling to life.
Hello and good evening. I am Mia Farnella, and I'm a member of the class of 2018. By being in this building, you are in roughly 62,000 square feet of space. That's a lot of space. But as large a number as this may seem, it is minuscule in comparison to the impact that this building has had and will continue to have on our community. Within every space of the Centennial Center, every day, Walker's girls are given an opportunity to do something great. An opportunity for the dancer to choreograph an entire performance all by herself. An opportunity for the swimmer to beat her own personal record while wearing a purple and yellow W on her swim cap. An opportunity for the volleyball player or the basketball player to leave it all on the court that we are sitting on right now and win a championship. An opportunity for a Walker's girl to build lifelong friendships in the social center just outside those doors by collaborating on a project or simply just laughing at an inside joke with her classmates. An opportunity for everyone, every girl and every adult, every former student and every parent, every member of this community has been given an opportunity in each and every one of these 62,000 square feet. And we can't wait to use every square foot to do something great. Thank you. Hello, my name is Keely Duran, and I am part of the class of 2018. In my first few years here, Walkers was always the underdog against the bigger teams. But since the overhaul of our soccer and softball fields and the installation of our turf fields, there has been a noticeable shift in how our opposing teams view us. I would say that the improved conditions of our fields has been the cause of this shift. The revamped fields did more than just change the physical view from Beaver Brook. They have given our teams the confidence to go into practices and into games with the mindset that we are not going to be overlooked by any team ever again. As a student that plays both field hockey and lacrosse on the turf fields, my teammates and I know that we have better facilities than the teams that we play. This confidence has fueled our wins, and winning teams have led to rejuvenated school spirit. Our pride, strong and colorful, purple and yellow of course, in Walkers has been restored due to the success of our teams since we installed the new fields.
Good evening. I feel daunted standing here in this vast atrium, beautiful, glorious, bedecked. I can hardly believe this is where I observed thirds volleyball just a few days ago. But that's the wondrous thing about Walkers, that schools are places of transformation, that every space becomes a clearing, a site of possibility. And that is precisely what we're here to celebrate tonight. Possibility, transformation, space, and strength of heart. A few months ago, Eric and I moved to Debbie's house. It was not a change of abode. It was a coming home. That is what Walkers is. It is a place of home. And we've had wonderful descriptions from 4 very eloquent young women about space and about possibility and about transformation. While I cannot number myself among the young women of the campus, nevertheless, I am the 5th. And I'm here to tell you about Debbie's house, one more place that was transformed by the wonderful Centennial campaign and created, and what home means to me. A truism is often that home is where the heart is. And that has been true for us, that we have discovered heart, both in the place, and I think Eric, in one another too. Robert Frost once commented, somewhat in a jaundiced fashion, home is where they have to take you in. It's good to know that. You all took us in, and I will forever be grateful for that. This is my home. I would add that home is where you discover who you really are. And I had not known until I arrived here who I was, and now I'm beginning to know that. I wish I could say I was the progenitor. This is how it all began. But in fact, I am but a follower. There was a wonderful person before me who had a brilliant vision. She knew how to transform. She arrived at the school at a time where things were more complex, where it was not clear where the future might lead. But there was a sense of conviction, a sense of fortitude, grit, and an awareness of how things might be. And of course, that person was none other than Bessie Spears. Bessie had a vision, and she was able to create a compelling blueprint for that vision. And it is because of Bessie that we are all here tonight in this wonder space. And at this moment, I know we've alluded to it before, but I would like us all to stand and applaud Bessie, and I would like her to come here. Please. If you would.
You're in big trouble.
Congratulations. Darling, it's you. On behalf of all of us at Walker's who've benefited from that visionary promise, I would like to award Bessie this small token of our undying gratitude and to ask her if she would to say a few words. Bessie.
Mira, you're amazing, and you're taking this school to its newest heights and in an amazing new chapter. And Tom and I, and Guthrie, who's back there with Jake Morris, we feel so honored to be here and sharing this moment with you. This moment really is not about me or the Spears. It is about the amazing faculty and teachers and students whose home this is. And I would just say that it is because of your confidence, courage, and conviction that you believed this could happen. And it's a great honor to be here. Mira, thank you again for all that you are doing to carry forth Walker's in such amazing ways. So thank you. And I just remember the text that John Monaghan sent me when I told him the board had voted to put the shovel in the ground on the Centennial Center. And there are about 10,000 emojis, and they're all sports emojis. So John was a huge part of this, as was Tom Schneider, the CFO at that point. But enough from me. What a wonderful evening.
I am in a blessed position. Bessie had the brain waves, the vision. Stephen Dunn, the interim head, last year, was responsible for much of the implementation. And we regret that Stephen and Sherry were unable to join us tonight. But we know they are here with us in spirit, and we send them our very best as well. And so we had the visionary, we had the implementer, and I am the beneficiary. Because during my time, we get to enjoy the fruits of all of that labor, and we're grateful. There are many people to whom I would like to express thanks, and you will forgive me. I will begin to enumerate, and I'm certain to forget, to omit significant individuals. And there's a fullness of heart in me that precludes the operation of my mind. And so if I omit, please know I am thinking of you as well. But we have wonderful friends who've joined us tonight, without whom the school would not have proceeded on the path it did. And so I would like to mention a few, if I might. I would like to mention Tom and Brenda Schneider. If you could stand, please, as extraordinary figures, titans at our school. I'd like to mention the co-chairs of our Centennial Center Task Force, some of whom are here this evening, Sue Cesar, and I know that we have this evening Lynn and Bill Menger. If you would stand, please. Lynn, loyal alumna, former trustee, who gave unstintingly of her time, and her delightful husband, Bill, who is the person who greeted me with namaste, and thank you, Bill. I now truly feel at home. And there are others as well. Two people who, without whom I would not be here. And I realized they are also the two people who taught me to have confidence in myself. And of course, they are none other than beloved Bob and Harriet Dewey. I'm sorry, Bob. I'm going to do this to you, Harriet, please. There are a host of others, too, whom I've only come to know in the last few months since I've arrived, but without whom this center would never have been possible. And I particularly want to mention Stephen Reynolds, our Chief Operating Officer, Greg Jandro, our Chief Financial Officer, our redoubtable Athletic Director, John Monaghan, who, when I said to him, yes, and I want to clap for all of these individuals, but I want to mention about John, he's a playful one, that one. And when I said to him this evening, how do I get there from here? You could see in his mind a thought that perhaps he could send me on a wild goose chase. And then he realized I was only too gullible, and he took pity and sent me in the right direction. So John, Steve, Greg, thank you all so much. I want to mention as well, I'm not sure they're here this evening, but our splendid architects, OMR, Office of Michael Rosenfeld, and also our builders, C.E. Floyd, and a group that have become my best new friends, our extraordinary board of trustees. You should know that it's a commonplace when heads of school gather that one of the tropes that everyone engages in is the bemoaning of their board. And I went to one such gathering, and people said, oh, I have a terrible board, I have this kind of board, I have a difficult board. And I had to remain silent, because all I wanted to say was, I have the most wonderful board, the most supportive board. And so I would like to say to you board members, would you stand, please? Because you are the ones, my bosses, and I'm so grateful. There's one other person I have to thank, He's an ornery sort. He's the one, I'm going to tell a story, it's going to embarrass him, but why not? To give you some idea of character, that he was the one who, at the moment when we were courting, and he decided that yes, I was the one, turned to a good friend of mine and said, I think I love her. And she said, yes, isn't Mira beautiful? And he responded, yes, look at that hawk-like profile. And that is none other than my husband, Eric Widmer. So these are the parts of my home and heart. And it has caused me to reflect on my responsibilities here. I am the beneficiary of these wonderful gifts, these acts of generosity. And so my task is that of steward. I am the custodian. This is not something I possess. This is a temporary entrusting of me with this most precious of assets, this school, these girls. And my task is to pay homage to those who came before me, to carry it forward, to make it flourish in the very best way I can. And for this task, for this responsibility, I feel tremendous gratitude. And this is the word that seems consonant with the values of Walkers. Last year, after I'd been named head of school, our Dean of Students, Lauren Rea, sent me a present from her class, which was a beautifully decorated glass jar, which was a gratitude jar. And she explained to me that girls thought about the things they were grateful for and put slips of paper in. To enumerate one's blessings, to be aware that one is not where one is because of one's own capacity, but because of the largesse, the kindness, the thoughtfulness of others, is an extraordinary awareness. I trust that we will not just be grateful as a community at this dinner, at this moment, but that it will become a way of life for us to realize that every moment is a precious gift that has been bestowed on us not because we were worthy, but maybe even despite the fact that maybe we weren't worthy, but others believed. And so we must believe, and so we must carry it forward. Now, I'd like to think about the notion of space. And this is really, those of you who've been in my classes, those students, know that I'm prone to digression. And a very interesting episode in Plato's Dialogues happens when he's talking to his followers, and somebody comes in and reports there's been a terrible fire. And it's been so terrible, it was a dinner party, and suddenly the house burnt down. And the question was, who perished in the fire? And it turned out there was one person who'd left early. And it was because he was able to determine, yes, who was sitting at the front, who was sitting next to that person, that they were able to determine who was involved in that tragic accident. And this has often been cited as the source of the art of memory in the ancient world. What I find fascinating about this story is the conjunction of memory with space. We've just heard of a number of wonderful spaces on campus. These are the places that will generate memories, that will generate narratives for decades and perhaps centuries yet to come. They are the clearings. They are the places of possibility, of transformation. We are fortunate that because of the extraordinary strength of heart, the largesse of a number of people, that there are a number of named spaces on this campus, and particularly in this building. And I thought I would take a minute just to remind you, many of you have seen the plaques, many of you have walked by and enjoyed those spaces, but perhaps we can mention them in turn. The first, of course, is the one that we celebrate with particular joy this evening, which is the Spears Family Lobby. And Tom, as I mentioned Eric, I thought of you, because I know that Bessie's time here would not have been possible, would not have been complete. And in fact, they talk about Brangelina, but perhaps they should also talk about Tessie, or some such thing, because you and Bessie were a team, just as I feel Eric and I are. So for the Spears Family Lobby, please join me. And of course, any of you who are fans of racket sports could not miss the fact that we are now positioned as a school to be a premier site for squash, thanks to the Dewey Squash Gallery. Bob and Harriet. And may I add, it was the Harriet Blees Dewey Squash Gallery. Did you know she won the Posture Cup in 1959, I believe? I want to mention the Lickle Family Athletic Director's Office. And Bill and Renee Lickle have been extraordinary supporters of the school, wonderful parents. It was Bill and Renee who directed me to Wellington last February. They will be joining us tomorrow. But when I see John, when I see him playing some sort of trick on me, I will always remember and forgive him, because he is the Lickle Family Athletic Director. One of the most delightful spaces, and one that has been newly furnished and one I see our students enjoying, is the Ethel Walker School Parents Association. I have to confess, I speak a number of languages, but to say EWSPA still does not roll off my tongue yet. But it's the most wonderful group, and thanks to them, we have this delightful oasis. And I would like to particularly, in recognition of all the parents who contributed to this site, ask Julie Berard, our current head of the EWSPA, and of course, Amy Paul, former director of the EWSPA, to stand so we may thank you. Here is one which I wish we could have every member present, but we have the class of 2016 entry porch. And though we have no members, as far as I know, of the class of 2016 present, no doubt because they're busy off at college doing the things they're supposed to be doing, we do have a number of parents from the class of 2016. And may I ask you to rise so we may honor you. One of the most pleasurable of experiences was the surprise provided to our wonderful alumna and former trustee, Tisha Potter, when her daughter surprised her with the naming of the gallery, with proceeds raised by her classmates and friends. And Tisha will be with us tomorrow, but the gallery is a wonderful space, and I have to say that Tisha is a personal sort of model and mentor to me. So to Tisha for tomorrow. Now, we've had all of these deliciously named spaces, and we're grateful. But it struck me that these are spaces that you already know about. And there needs to be some drama in every evening. And I'm proud to announce a newly named space that I perceive that none of you know about yet. And this space is named for somebody who also has great generosity of heart, who has spent over 30 years serving the school tirelessly, who has guided innumerable girls from places of hazard at times and trepidation to wonderful lives of purpose, who loves the school dearly, who loves our girls dearly, and whose legacy on the school is indisputable. And hence, I would like to announce the naming, thanks to grateful alums and grateful parents, the naming of the Joyce McIntyre Wellness Space at the Centennial Center as of tonight. Joyce. We will have the formal dedication of that space in the coming weeks, and I'll apprise you of all of that. But Joyce, congratulations. We're very proud and very grateful, and I'm glad I'm here on this day. At this moment, I would like to invite our Dean of the Faculty, Jill Harrington, to the podium.
Thank you, Mira. The endowment of an academic chair embodies an expression of philanthropic investment in the core of our educational mission, our teachers. The Natalie Galbraith Chair in Humanities recognizes a faculty member for distinguished performance in the classroom and for contributions to the life of this school. The Natalie Galbraith Chair was endowed in 1984 in honor of former head of school, Natalie Galbraith Mitchell. The chair is awarded for a 3-year term to a faculty member who has served at the school for at least 5 years. The appointment of this chair is an opportunity to recognize one faculty member among this incredibly dedicated, talented, and passionate group. I am honored to present this award today to a faculty member who is central to so much of the work we do here to change the lives of our girls. The Ethel Walker School would like to present the Galbraith Chair for the Humanities to Ms. Brooke Haynes. Ms. Haynes, please come join me. I'm going to make her sit here while I talk about her for a few minutes. Ms. Haynes joined Walker's in the fall of 2011, immediately after graduating from Trinity College. At Trinity, she earned a BA in archaeology with a focus in cultural anthropology and a double minor in history and mythology. While earning her degree, Ms. Haynes studied abroad at Charles University Prague in the Czech Republic and served as a teaching assistant for several archaeology courses. She co-captained the swim team at Trinity, and at the conclusion of her senior year, was in the books for holding 5 school records. While at Walker's, Ms. Haynes has taught Global Connections, our 9th grade history course, where students research ungoogleable questions and present their findings. Say that 5 times fast. Introduction to U.S. History for our non-native English-speaking students, Ancient Cultures for 6th grade, Modern Cultures for 7th grade, and several senior history electives, including most recently, Keeping the Peace, a course that asks, what sparks a revolution? Her Lacuna courses include the anthropology of war, building and racing soapbox derby cars, and surviving walkers, AKA how to avoid freezing to death in the Walker's Woods in the depth of a New England winter. Ms. Haynes coaches varsity swimming and varsity tennis, is the Cluett dorm head, and is the head of Suns. Go Suns! When Miss Haynes is not taking care of the Walker's community or her own family, she's raising foster puppies and rescued cats. In fact, there's a long line of Walker's humans who credit Miss Haynes with pairing them with their furry soulmates. And during all of her free time, Miss Haynes is always learning, recently having earned her Master of Fine Arts degree in history from the University of Southern California. Miss Haynes spends her vacations as a volunteer swim coach when she's not adventuring in Peru or in the Grand Canyon. Most of us feel pretty accomplished when we finish CPR and first aid training. Miss Haynes not only knows regular first aid and CPR, she's a wilderness responder, so she can save your life without the modern convenience of an ambulance. Miss Haynes loves Harry Potter, fishing, campfires, the Red Sox, and the Patriots. And you might not know that she's also working on plans to build her own log cabin. Yes, I said build, not buy. And each summer, she jumps out of a boat under the Golden Gate Bridge and swims 1.5 miles to shore from Alcatraz for fun. And for the Swim Across America charity. Ms. Haynes' accomplishments are as vast as her enthusiasm. We are honored to have her share her time and talents with us. Her commitment and positive influence are infectious, and her can-do attitude is tough to match. At Walker's, Miss Haynes is always the first one in the pool, literally and figuratively. In fact, there are photographs of her diving into the Centennial Center pool, in an orange tutu, of course. Her colleagues describe her as kind, positive, insightful, and energetic. She is constantly offering to lend a helping hand and always striving to improve in everything she does. One faculty member states, Brooke is a standout teacher and leader at EWS. I've been impressed by her incredible hard work and her commitment to the school and her students. I am grateful for her insights and mentorship. Another shares that Brooke's complete dedication to the school in every aspect in the classroom, athletics, student life, and the middle school is exemplary. In all of these areas, she is tough but fair, and her students respect her because of it. The students who live with her in the dorm say that she's always there when they need to talk. They describe her as fun, kind, spirited, and share that her apartment is always open to everyone. The girls she coaches constantly say what an amazing coach she is. Amidst the complaints about how hard they're working is the understanding that Miss Haynes pushes them to be their best, and they adore her for that. Miss Haynes recently posted a quote titled 10 Things That Require Zero Talent. It reads, being on time, work ethic, effort, energy, body language, passion, doing extra, being prepared, being coachable, attitude. Ms. Haynes demonstrates all of these qualities, and when you add to this list the incredible talents that Ms. Haynes has, you have the quintessential Walker's girl. We couldn't ask for a better role model for our students or a better colleague and friend to work with. One colleague shares, Brooke is amazing. She's omnipresent, courteous, and always willing to go above and beyond. There is no one who deserves this more than her. In the words of one of her students, Miss Haynes is just simply awesome. The Galbraith Chair for the Humanities is awarded to Ms. Brooke Haynes in recognition of her enormous contributions to the Ethel Walker School community. Congratulations, Brooke.
Thank you. Really should have known Miss Viz was going to put me on the spot. This is a complete honor. It's a privilege to be here tonight with all of you and to have some special guests over on the side. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. But it's also such an honor to be a part of a community like this. So thank you all. This is truly amazing.
Well, we're coming to the close of our evening, and those of you who were at morning meeting may recall that I quoted William Butler Yeats's lines that education is not the filling of a pail, it is the lighting of a fire. And I think we see in this beautifully illumined building the fires that are being lighted daily at Walker's. Now, I have a confession. When we were planning the celebration, I sort of put forward rather pushily the notion that we should have fireworks to celebrate this wonderful campaign. And my fellow planners acquiesced, a little surprised, I think. But I did have an ulterior motive. You see, as an Indian, it's impossible not to be aware that we are in the season of Diwali or Deepavali, which is the festival of lights, and which celebrates the triumph of good over evil. And in India, lamps are lit all around the house to illumine them, and lots of fireworks are set off. And so for me, it's doubly appropriate that we have fireworks this evening. And soon we'll be retiring from this room, and you'll be ushered outside where we have dessert waiting. Do take your jackets. And also, of course, a splendid fireworks display. It is that celebration of light. It is the celebration of truth and wonder and possibility. And I thank you all so much for joining us this evening to be part of that luminous transformation. Thank you.